I think it's great. All right. Are we on air right now?
We are live.
We're live.
We're live.
All right.
Welcome to the internet.
It's a good
Let's.
thing.
I think we're live.
Hello in TV land.
I was about to go on a tirade about a video game, but
So we'll
Don't do that. Then everyone will know you're a nerd.
that's for
Right.
next week. That's for next week's episode.
So we're gonna run the live. We still have not
hell yeah.
figured out how to make this a clean situation, but
Hey Joe,
what's up?
I'm
Hey.
drinking at work.
I say we cheers to that.
I'm down with that.
All right.
Cheers
to
to
the
that.
podcast.
All right. I need to set this up as a full screen thing. How do I do full screen? There it goes. And then I need to put that up. And I can switch. All right. So we're live. And we're actually on.
All right, cool.
Cool. So today we're probably going to be talking about, well, we got Rob Cannon on the show.
Hi.
Yeah, this is the show here.
The show.
As
Is that what
officially
it's called? It's called the show.
We haven't figured out what the fuck we're calling this yet.
I like the show.
I feel like somebody's called their show the show, but this is the show until they come forward and they're like, you can't call it the show.
How
So
about
this is the
Condry
show.
to Condry? And your logo could be
Condry,
like both of
Condry.
your heads coming out of the same shirt or something.
We're probably going to call you up to do the logo. Is what's going to happen. Because I've seen some cool graphic work from this guy many
I'm
times.
getting fucked up just for you.
Right? Yeah. I like that. So yeah. Well, shit. So Rob, we got you on the show. Tell us what you were talking to me earlier. This is the cool thing about doing your own podcast. So what's the idea behind that?
Well, me and Kevin Roditelli, who will probably be tagged in this, and we are going to be making our own podcast. And you guys do more of a free-form show, and that's great. We could come on here and share our opinions. But what Kevin and I are going for is going to be a little more focused, and we're going to do like probably shorter episodes that are based on like maybe a certain topic. I think what we're going to be starting out with, we're starting on Monday, by the way. We haven't announced it yet, I don't think.
Well, you just did.
Yeah, I just did. I just dropped it.
Boom.
We're starting on Monday. Probably going to be around this time, actually. And we're going to just talk about what our plans are for the year, what we're working on in our new project called Glacial. That's Glacial with an X.
Glacial.
Ooh,
And,
fancy over here.
we're going to be talking about that and like my process, Kevin's process in writing it, and just kind of like what we're up to. And after that, we're probably just going to be talking about creativity in general. We don't want to stick to comics because neither of us really know that much about comics. We don't read comics that much. We are just like into storytelling.
You make comics,
Yeah,
but you don't actually read them or anything like
I
that.
read some comics. I like some comics a lot, but like I'm not going to the comic book store to pick up the next whatever. I don't know.
All right.
I just like I respect it as a storytelling medium, and I enjoy the hell out of doing it for money.
So maybe that's the biggest one, is if you've actually found a way to just draw shit for fun
Yeah, a little bit.
and make a living doing it. It's
Not a living.
not quite a living.
But no, it's great, and I did it for a long time without getting paid, and I still enjoy the shit out of it.
You can make an
it's
eating
cool.
out of it. Basically, you can like buy your groceries
Maybe.
if you're lucky.
Maybe.
We'll see.
Keep trying on that one, right?
Yeah. So that's what our podcast is going to be about, and
Yeah.
I think it's going to be pretty cool. We're probably going to, and we won't be doing it live either.
Okay.
We won't have it set up like that because we have to do it over Skype and like cut the videos together. So
Right. Well, I mean,
kind of a clusterfuck, and we'll figure it out though.
right. Well, that's part of the idea, is like what we're doing here too. It's just this massive figure it out
Sure.
as we go kind of thing.
Yeah.
So
Well, it's a podcast, You're not. This isn't like a job interview for Wall Street or
Yeah.
something. Just go out there. You're getting a lot more done by sitting here and doing the show and talking to people and putting it out there than you are sitting on your ass thinking about, how do I make the perfect podcast? Just fucking do it. Get off your ass
Right.
and put your
We like to do
goddamn
both.
face on the internet.
Yeah, we do both.
We're doing both right
Yeah.
fucking now.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, and that's it. Part of it too. Like even yourself starting the whole thing, I think is almost what triggered me. Well, one of the many triggers to start this whole to do this whole damn thing is like, what was it? It was about a year ago. I think you did. We set up a bunch of cameras right here, and you did some ad or something for one of your.
Dude.
Yeah.
Oh man, that was about 2 years ago.
Was that 2 years ago?
That was the promo video for the Sane 6 Kickstarter. What a
Oh,
throwback,
shit.
man. Yeah.
Sane 6. Now that was. Oh shit.
What
We
we got
have
right here?
we have material.
That's this one, baby, right here.
Yeah.
Number
Pick
one.
yours up now,
Pick yours up.
RescuePros.com.
So what's funny is I found those in my garage. I forgot that I
Such respect you have for
bought
your
them.
work.
Yeah. I love your work, Rob. Of course I'm gonna buy it and forget I have it. But you know.
No, you got this on what's the name of the website again?
Oh yeah,
Rats and
free
Crows?
plug, man.
Ratsandcrows.com.
Yeah, you can set you have to like probably pay for like shipping and whatnot, but you can order online.
Shipping's cheap. Yeah, you can order online, or you
Okay.
can get in contact with me directly. I've got a bunch of them in my studio.
So what's okay?
Yeah, we should post his info or something like that.
Fuck
Some
yeah,
kind of a
man.
thing.
Yeah, that's what we'll do. We're working on this.
We're gonna plug him. We're gonna plug him right.
Yeah,
you
we're
know.
plugging the shit out of this guy.
Nobody
Good.
gets plugged in properly on this show. Can you read this? Can you like get a PDF of this online, or is it? Just
Yeah, you
physical?
can buy a digital
okay,
copy.
cool.
Yeah.
And I would definitely say I've read it. It's book number 1.
Book number 1.
Book number 2's on its way.
Yeah,
Awesome,
I've only got like
yes.
3 pages left, but I really I was working on it for a year and got sick of it, so I needed a break. So after Glacial, I'm gonna get back to those few pages and fucking at least release it digitally. Who knows if there's gonna be anyone who wants to print it? Because,
Right.
Rats and Crows isn't around anymore, but. Yeah, I'm still gonna make the goddamn thing.
Hell yeah! Well, it's a thing of art and love or whatever. At this point, passion
labor
child,
of love.
labor of love. There it is. So, fuck yeah! No, that's cool. So we also have your other book, which apparently nobody else has in the world.
Yeah, okay. This is Harlan Martyr, everyone.
Oh.
Very, very few people will
Exclusive.
know what this is. This is really this is the first book I ever finished.
Right.
This is great, and I love this story. Harlan Martyr is awesome. I had a lot of fun coming up with the art style for that. It took a really long time, and but what we did was Eric Myers and I finished that book together. He wrote it and I did the artwork, and what we did was irresponsibly upload it to a print-on-demand service called Lulu, and
Okay.
we put it up there, and we were all stoked. It's like, oh man, our
Yeah.
book's gonna be published, man. We were all drunk and shit, and we
It's gonna work. Yeah.
not only did we have to sell it for $22 or something like that, which is way too much. You saw how small the book was, and like how many.
Yeah.
It's like 40 pages long.
Right.
And not only that, but our CEO saw that it was up there of the publishing company that we were working for, and he was like, "Don't fucking do that. Take it down."
Oh, like you were selling it under without even talking to the.
we weren't really thinking about that. So it was.
So you
online
copyright
for, like,
infringed yourselves.
pretty much.
Yeah.
So it was online for about 1 day, and I don't even own a copy, and I think there's like five of those books out there. So if I become rich and famous, which probably won't ever happen, but if it does,
A man can dream, right? You know.
you got that. Yeah, you could sell for millions. So
Fucking, there's my retarement plan
Only-
right there,
only-
man.
Only less than 10 of those were ever made.
Right.
You need to sign that then. You need
Oh,
to write
that's
some
what I'm
kind
gonna
of,
do. Yeah.
Epigraph, whatever
Well,
they call
dude,
it, epitaph.
if I become a fucking celebrity and I'm not gonna give Joe the time of day to come over here and sign his fucking Harlan Martyr book, I hope someone's waiting around the corner so they can blow my fucking brains out, because that is some shitty shit, and I never aspire to be that guy.
Yeah. Don't
You
forget
heard
who
it here
plugged you.
first, folks.
Yeah, no, I want to hold you to that too.
All right.
Don't
Yeah.
fuck around on this one.
In stone.
I'll kick you some cash off the sales for what it's worth. If it's worth $1 million, I'll give you like $50, something like that.
Sure,
Yeah.
Give me one of these chairs. These are nice
That's
chairs.
yeah. I'll get you one of those chairs. 2 of them. Hell.
Wow.
Yeah. I'm generous.
So today's show is about creativity. All right?
I suppose.
that
Yeah.
what it's about?
Well, it's the idea. I was always pretty stoked to, because I know we watched a lot. Well, we talked a lot about just creating shit,
Yeah.
whatever it may be. I mean, we've been talking about making movies for.
Oh yeah. And I'm fucking serious about that too.
Yeah.
We're gonna get together, and all I want to do is just get a camera and a couple of actors, and like
Mm-hmm.
maybe 3 or 4 people, maybe someone to hold a microphone or whatever.
Right.
We just get together and we shoot a fight scene like we did in high school, like the good old days. We'll start out easy.
Yeah.
And we'll see what we can do, and if it looks good-ish, then we can like keep going from there. And I want to get into blood.
Dude, yeah, that's the.
God.
Let's get some badass. What are the packs called?
Squibs.
Squibs. Yeah.
Like,
Make some
I want,
badass
like,
squibs.
fucking-
Just like load someone up. Just yeah.
I watched Django Unchained this weekend, and it's one of Tarantino's worst movies in my opinion, but it's fucking beautiful. Well, there's the blood in that
Here's the thing,
film.
all
is
fucking
like,
Tarantino movies are gonna be gorgeous like that, right?
No, and he
Gorgeous
really,
as hell.
it's one of his best looking movies, but it's just like it's trash compared to Hateful Eight, which is.
I still haven't seen
Yeah, I
that.
haven't seen that. Is that,
great.
that was pretty
It's
good?
it's basically like the modern updated version of Reservoir Dogs. It's the same
okay.
type of situation where it's like these people and they all get kind of like into this vortex of conflict, and they're all sitting around and they have to figure out like who's the enemy and what's going on, and it's full of that like Tarantino like
The
like
standoffy
dialogue,
shit,
suspense,
yeah.
and the standoff type.
That's
of
what I
situations.
dig.
And if you like that about Tarantino movies, then like Hateful Eight is totally gonna be up your alley.
I actually
It's
really
so
do like
cool.
that type of movie. I saw another type of movie from a different filmmaker. It was very similar. I think it was called Free Fire. Did you guys hear about that one?
Didn't even know
This is
what's.
similar. It's kind of like a bottle episode where like it takes place generally in one area and like all the conflict kind of happens within there, and you can kind of tell that some of the antagonisms exist like outside of that setting, you know, and they're like
Right.
brought in there. But that one was also a pretty good one. I think that came out earlier, 2017. Saw that one in theaters.
What's
Yeah.
up?
That sounds
Free
great.
Fire.
I love settings like that. It almost feels like it could be a stage play.
Well, like
that's-
Reservoir Dogs.
Yeah, like Reservoir Dogs. Like you
was-
could set a stage play, cut off some of like the flashback frills that they put in there, like the shootouts, and just like have these characters on a stage in that warehouse
Yeah.
the whole movie, and for the whole play. And I think there actually is like plays of Tarantino's movies.
Well, there's also plays of the Mormon, the Book of Mormon too.
That's a Broadway, man.
Is that a Broadway?
Yeah,
That's
dude.
all the way to the
That
top.
comes to Sacramento every couple of years.
So I think the nearest one they're gonna have it in San Jose pretty soon, and if the tickets aren't sold out,
Or if they're not $300 a piece, they're
we can find a. There's always a way to get into that show. This is what I learned. Like I told you the TED Talk story,
Yeah,
right?
I know.
So essentially, I had a show or what's it called? It was a class that I took. It was a speech class, and we had to go see a speech. And I'm like, I want to go do this. And so I figure I want to go watch a TED Talk if I'm going to see any speech at all. It's got to be something badass. Like I'm not half-assing this. And then I went and looked at the ticket prices for TED Talks, and I was like, "Fuck, these things are $1,000 to go." I'm like, "Nah, that ain't right." Yeah, $1,000
It's
bucks.
regular TED,
Well,
not TEDx, right?
So that's for the actual TED, like the
Okay.
badass one. Yeah.
It's TEDx. You can just like.
Well, so what I ended up doing was I got in and I've just emailed some random dude with TED, and I was like, "Hey man, I work in broadcast. You guys need some camera work?" And they're like, "Yeah, we got a show coming up, like blah blah blah." So I got in and recorded it,
Oh, that's cool.
and that was my in to going and seeing a TED show for free.
Wait, so you did camera work for a TED, or a TED
Yeah,
show?
yeah.
That's pretty cool, man.
It was TEDx, but you know.
And they charge $1,000 per ticket.
No, TEDx was like, I don't know, it's like $50 or something per
Oh,
ticket.
okay.
Still more than I was gonna pay. Fuck that.
How much
but
did you get paid for it?
It was volunteer work.
Oh, okay. Well, there you go.
Resume building.
yeah, right.
You got that free intern.
But I got in. Either way, I didn't pay for it. That was what I got. My whole
Yeah.
goal. And then I feel bad wherever he's at. I never edited it, so there's that.
Well, he never paid you.
This
so
is
there's
true.
that.
Well, that's why, because I got a lot of paying gigs right now. I'm like, I don't have time to sit down and edit this shit.
Ain't
But
nobody got time for that.
but that's what it's all about. Like even what you were saying, if you do for some reason lose the funding on your comics, you got to keep going. It's still a labor of love. You
Well,
know?
it keeps you alive, for God's sake.
Yeah. Well, that's why. That's this. We don't get paid for this.
Yeah, not yet. I mean, come on. You can sponsor yourself some days if
Right.
some days.
Someday.
If you enough people are watching your show, throw some ads on there. Nobody gives a fuck. Everyone's
That'd be
doing
pretty cool. You know, I hadn't
it.
thought about
advertising.
advertising.
Just a quick little income flow.
I think first we got to get viewers on
Right,
YouTube.
viewers
Yeah.
first. Viewers first. But, baby steps. You're building your pyramid.
Yeah.
It's like a pyramid scheme. You got to start at the bottom.
Well, right
Create
now
a
we're
strong
build-
foundation.
we're totally just shoving this down the people's throats on Facebook.
Yeah, you're
That's
watching.
the best.
You chose to watch this.
Suckers. But
Do we
no.
have any watchers right now?
Yeah, we got a few people.
Nice. Well, thank you to them,
Yeah, thank
Thanks,
you.
guys.
Yeah,
Means a lot.
it's a little handful, you know, but
the faithful few.
yeah, I don't know, it's working out. But
Cool.
so yeah, no, it's cool. I'm stoked that the idea of what we did here. I should probably cut that too. So the idea though is that we kind of jumped into just doing a podcast, and of course, like the inspiration from that came from a multitude of different sources. And then I think it was literally the week after I did the first one, I talked to you, and you're like, "Hey, man, I want to you got a studio now. Let's start doing a podcast."
Well,
Yeah.
it was more like, "Hey, Joe, can I use your shit?"
Pretty much. You wanted free services, and then I told you have to buy me a table. And
I'm looking, man. It's hard to find a
something better
table.
than this. Yeah, I don't have a wide shot.
I might start with a nice tablecloth.
Okay, a nice
that's a good
tablecloth.
start, yeah.
That'd be a step up from what we got right now.
Yeah, well, and Kevin and I have been talking about doing a podcast for like a really long time, and
Yeah.
this is like the perfect opportunity. If I can come in here and use the studio,
Hell yeah.
you know, when I can or whatever.
Going rate for people at home is $100 an hour. Well, if you're shooting a 1 hour show every week, you know, it's a decent if you're actually making money on it.
Yeah.
That's the other, you know.
Gotta do that first.
Yeah.
Yeah, but we were planning on doing this for a while, and this was my time to say, okay, let's kick ourselves in the ass and just start talking into microphones and put it on the internet. I mean, come on.
Yeah.
We got a lot to say.
Even if it's not very important, but we got a lot to say. Well, good point. But that's a whole philosophical discussion of its own, you know.
That's the week after.
And I haven't
this
drank
episode.
enough for that yet, so. But I'm
What are you
working
waiting
on
for?
it. Calm yourself there, but.
There we go.
But yeah, no, it's coming along. I'm gonna make you pour me another drink here pretty soon.
Okay, well I'm gonna get started.
But but yeah, no, it's super cool. So I'm stoked to kind of help you usher into creating whatever, you know. However we decide to do this whole thing. Holy shit, Willie.
Have a rough day of the office.
It's like it's on top of the previous one. So.
Coke with your rum there. But, no, it's gonna be cool. Like and that's the idea, is just literally pushing forward and driving into it. We've had a bunch of different. Actually, you know what? This is probably a good time to just start pushing for our other shows that we want to do. Not shows, but
Endeavors?
endeavors. Yeah, let's make some cool fucking videos and yeah.
Yeah, I'd like to do that. I really, really would.
Yeah, I've like really gotten interested in camera work lately. So
Really?
like,
You know what'd be great, actually? When we do this thing, we fuck around with cameras,
Yeah.
and make a movie. You be my my second unit director. Well, you get
Yeah,
some
dude.
B-roll, man.
I would love to. No, I mean, in the last several years, I've gotten into cinematography, and so and by that I mean, like, I started appreciating like how shots were formed in like television shows, and Breaking Bad is like the show that got me on that kick.
Right.
It's not like
Dude.
Breaking Bad.
Beautiful.
It's not like that show invented good cinematography. It was just that
It
was
brought
the,
it to television.
Well, that was the first show that I was like, or that was the first thing ever where I was like, holy shit, the way they're like framing these shots means everything. There's so much like implications to the story, like and how the
Right.
camera's set up. Like there's a lot of power dynamics that are shown through like cinematography, and then I was like, whoa, that's like kind of cool. Like
Yeah.
before I thought it was just like, hey, put the fucking camera over there. That looks good.
That's how so much television is shot, though. Breaking
Yeah.
Bad actually takes like visual storytelling, and you know, because usually you get the characters telling dialogue, and that's the whole story. But like Breaking Bad introduced the idea of letting like tone and composition and like visual language to being a part of television. It's like the amount of attention given to a film in its entirety was given to that whole, like, all 5 seasons of that show. It's so beautiful.
No, really, and it's a trend that I think attention to that kind of stuff has just been happening all over the place in the last 10 years or so.
Yeah, for sure.
But so
Elevated television.
that caused me to like realize, hey, wait a minute, like, so Joe and I,
Ew.
this is an
Yeah.
unlucky night. Joe and I, we grew up in a like video production household. All right, so our dad's got, I guess you could say in very friendly terms, a small scale film production company that's focused on like local staged events, like, you know, do a lot of school plays and stuff like that. But we've been around cameras. All
Dude,
our
our
lives.
well, it's weird because we grew up. I've got a video that you may have seen it, but it's the Only for Idiots, which is
Yes,
It's on YouTube. You can check it
yeah,
out.
it's on YouTube on this channel.
literally doing political satire since the 5th grade.
Yeah, man.
Right?
Doing Bill Clinton jokes and shit. Or was it George Bush
It's George
jokes?
Bush and Al
Amateur
Gore.
Hell
SNL.
yeah.
Yeah, back in 5th grade too. Yeah, or no, it was 5th grade. Yeah.
It was just as incisive as Saturday Night Live's like Lockbox, skit with Al Gore and stuff like that. It was just as good, except done by like 5th graders.
Right.
Would have been able to tell you, been like, oh, these kids are definitely in middle school for sure. Definitely no younger than that.
Well, but what's weird is that when we made that, the idea of having a camera that was accessible to you as a kid, like a 5th grader, I didn't even have a cell phones didn't really exist as a big deal back then. So, like, that was back when the Nokia was. Remember, we used to play Snake.
Machines. Yeah, they were just Snake machines.
The Snake machines.
You just play Snake.
And so it was weird to access that, but the flip side of that sword was that in order to make a video, you had to take this big ass camera out of a case. You had to put it on a tripod. You had to have a microphone, and so therefore, like, by default, your quality starts here because your shots are going to be stabilized. Versus now, everybody's got a camera, but they're all cell phones with a shitty microphone, and everybody's just like, woo, like pointing them everywhere. They don't know about frame.
Or they're sideways.
Or they're sideways, yeah, like not even the right orientation. And so there's a whole. It's just like it's great that more people can access it, but you don't immediately have to know the rules in order to get in and do it. And so it was weird that we happened to get in at that exact caveat time, you know? And we did, and so that's kind of what you really...
Yeah, it's like, well, it was like the beginning of the whole home, like, video production thing, you know? It's like, now you can make your own movie, and you can edit it at home, like
right.
a movie or whatever. But, yeah, so, like, because I got into... I started appreciating cinematography, and that led me to actually appreciating video production, and so, like, I've started to do that more professionally in, like, the last few years, and, like, actually want to, like, know more about that, and that's made me want to do it, like, I guess you could say just recreationally for, like, you know, for, like, a project. Like, recently I've always wanted to get on, like, a film production team,
right,
work on a movie or something like that.
Oh, there you go.
Maybe
So
not like a big movie, you know, what you're talking about, like fight scene or something like that. Little things just to, like, almost build experience.
Yeah, but you're building your resume, and who says you can't, like, go onto a movie?
Oh, no,
like, hey,
that would be
I've
dope.
got fucking experience, you know? Like,
Yeah,
here's
if
what I
anyone's
can do,
hiring.
here's the equipment I know how to use. I'm serious.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah,
experience.
for sure.
Joe's got some fucking nice stuff.
we've got, yeah, I mean, we've got the equipment. That's the
It's
idea.
not like
Is
we're
that
shooting on Daddy's VHS-C camcorder here. Whatever it's called. Man. Well, it's been such a long time since I handled one of those dinosaurs. I don't know what the fuck they're called anymore.
I heard you actually get older if you touch one. It's contagious. It'll fuck you up. It's like in Indiana Jones. You remember when he touches the grail? And
You chose. Yeah, that's what happened if you touch a VHC or whatever camcorder.
One of those
you
fucking
take out a
things.
tape, you put in the tape.
You put it
in your VCR.
Yeah, it'll fuck
man.
you up real quick. But what's cool though is that, like, recently, I think the other flip side is you've gotten in on the team that for work. I mean, lately you've been doing video,
Yeah.
right? Which has probably changed your outlook on. I know it did for me. Like, I watch sports games and a lot of concerts.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, I can't enjoy them as much anymore because I'm sitting there watching the shots and I'm thinking about what the director's calling.
Yeah.
Because that's what we do for work now.
Well, it's like,
Joe,
it's great.
so-
I finally have a
You're
reason.
constantly honing your craft when you do that.
Yeah.
It's
well,
like when you watch a movie with a cinematic eye, like a writer's perspective, and you're going,
Yeah.
"Oh, this is shitty." And you're thinking about what I would have done differently, or how are they doing it, blah blah blah, and it's like you're working out in
Right.
your brain.
It is
I
a
do
mental.
too. Yeah, when I watch movies, I'm, like, also thinking about it from, like, a screenwriter perspective, like actually, like, making the story.
Yeah, how would you write this? Or
Well, it's like one thing to come up with a story, but it's another thing to come up with a story specifically for film. Because, I mean, like,
Right characters.
yeah, if
that
you're gonna
matter?
write
Yeah,
a book,
characters.
you don't go about a book the same way you go about a television show or a movie.
Okay,
like,
well,
or
so
film, you know, in
'cause
general.
there's the characters. Like, what is it? Star Wars. Everybody tears apart the first 3 movies, right?
Oh, the prequels.
Yeah, the
Yes.
prequels. Yeah, the prequels.
Bad.
Right.
like
But here's the
it's-
thing. What was it? There was somebody that was telling me they're like they didn't need to exist. I'm like, well, the Lord of the Rings didn't need to exist.
The original trilogy didn't need to exist.
Yeah, nothing needed to
You
exist.
don't need to exist.
But yeah, so the get into it. But
Let's talk
the
about
point
what did need to exist, and that was the Star Wars Christmas special.
all right,
AKA
all right.
an excuse just to get high on cocaine for the actors.
Willie, can I do my lumpy impression?
Absolutely. You heard it here first.
Go look that up.
Conjuring,
What is
Conjuring,
what is Lumpy?
Lumpy is Chewbacca's son.
Yeah, so they go to Kashyyyk.
Okay, tell me more.
I don't know actually anymore. All I know is they went
They
to
go to
Kashyyyk. Chewbacca visited his family, like Han, Luke, and Leia were in it. They were high on cocaine. But, I mean...
Was it the actual... This is a cartoon, wasn't it?
No, this was live action.
Oh, you know what was weird, too? It happened right after Mark Hamill's car accident. So his face is all fucked up.
Oh, so he's looking
they
like...
have him, like, like, near a fog machine the whole time. Like, hell, R2, what are you doing? And there's, like, you know, you can hear Jar Jar laughing in the background. It's more awful Star Wars humor.
Oh, no.
Oh, my God, it's so great. You're right, Willie. That did need to exist.
That did need to
That's
exist.
the one thing among the stars that we could not be without.
Yeah. It's true.
Man, that would have been cool to be in film in the 70s.
I think it was mostly porn in the 70s, wasn't it? Like, that's all film was there for?
I don't know. I wasn't around back then.
I saw the James Franco thing lately where he's making porn.
Wait,
James
what?
Franco makes porn?
Yeah, there's a show on HBO, I think. Yeah, it's HBO Now or HBO Go or
Is
one
it
of
called,
those.
Like James Franco makes porn?
Yeah, that's what reeled me in. I was like, James Franco makes porn. I gotta see this. But yeah.
That would be like a
Wait,
rip-off of Seth Rogen's thing. Like Zack and
he's-
Mary.
Is it a film about a character that he plays making porn?
Yeah,
or is it
no,
a
it's-
documentary about him actually making porn. James Franco's pornography website.
Both are
.com.
equally
Though
plausible.
the latter would be more awesome. No, it's actually a character. It's got the
I think it would be.
I would
I don't
watch
want to
it.
see anything pornographic that man's interested in.
We have a picture that we took for Christmas that replicates a pretty.
That's
Yeah,
a
there's
good
that one. Yeah.
Put that in the comments. Drop that
Oh
one
God,
down.
we don't need to put that in the comments. It shows up once a
Now,
year, every year.
Everyone's gonna be curious now, Joe.
All 5 viewers.
We
It's-
love you guys.
Yeah, all of you.
You're like family.
They
Right.
made the show what it is.
They make no. We really do love the viewers here, though.
do.
Like
We do
without
it for
that,
them. Who are we doing it for if not for the viewers? Huh?
the viewers I appreciate, but we actually do this for us.
And Mama
I have
Country.
fun.
Yeah, that's
I'm not part of the show.
Yeah, well, no,
But
you're
we
part of the
wouldn't
show, yeah.
do it if it wasn't fun.
That's
If this
the
was
whole-
like, oh no, not another podcast.
All right, no.
Then we wouldn't fucking do it because we'd be miserable the whole time.
all right. No, the point is, it's an excuse to get together every Friday, generally pregame, drink a little bit, have some people talk some shit. What is going on, Harrell? Oh, here, that's Tim. He's talking shit. So it's an excuse to drink.
He's a designated shit talker, though.
It is. Dude, I'm so
He's
totally.
like the heckler.
He is.
What does your mood watch say?
It was. No, Tim totally is. We gotta get that motherfucker on, and then better yet, we gotta get somebody to heckle his ass while he's on. But
Everybody.
everybody,
Yeah.
like everybody turns and shit talks. I like it. No, he brings a whole dimension to this that we haven't had yet.
He brings humility to the table.
I like to think that we already had that, but you know, maybe not enough of it.
Certainly doesn't bring any of his own humility to the table.
Oh. Is he talking shit? No, we're not triggering him.
He's not paying attention.
No, he's not. He
We're
probably
not
signed off already.
inflammatory,
But no, that's kind of the idea. Is it's coming back around to this whole creating random bullshit. It's
Yeah.
the fact is, well, so it kind of comes down to
It's not random though. It's
Well-
not random. We're talking about things that interest us.
Well, yeah,
Those
that's-
things interest us for a reason.
yeah, and that's a good point. You know, it's what happened is me and Willie when we did the first one, it was kind of just to see what happens. I probably never had more fun than sitting here drinking with this guy right here and just bullshitting back and forth. And the fact that we had a little recording of it after. You remember? Okay, so you remember how you used to record a lot of the things that we do when we're drinking or whatever?
Yeah, because funny stuff happens.
Yeah, and it's hard to capture those moments.
Yeah.
So-
I recorded my crown jewel of things that like my white whale is
Yeah.
that one Pat's greatest ever telling of the
Oh.
Blue Blop story.
The Bloop Blop story.
Which I intend to at some point put visuals to and put on YouTube.
Right.
Because that is such a magnificent, not only a great story, but the telling.
No, the story. He
The theatricality and the execution of that story was
It's an
so
American.
perfect.
It's an American story, isn't
It's
it?
an American.
is an American. It's a,
It takes place at an American round table, and
Right there in
its
Fair
cast is
Oaks.
entirely made of American citizens.
we think that one dude
That one
who's
guy might
that
be from
he
outer
might have been
space.
or somewhere. Who knows?
Moon person.
Right.
Well, it espouses themes that Americans can, like, really latch on to.
Yeah, it does.
in these
Like
trying times.
yelling random shit.
Oh.
What do you mean it's yelling random shit? It's just full of classic.
No,
moments
well,
like that.
there's little quotable moments. Not to mention, like, you can hear in the recording of that, when you're listening to it, you can hear a fucking pin drop. Like, he's got that on. He's like, Pat's one of the better storytellers of everybody
he is.
that we
He
know.
really knows how to grab a room.
he's a good order.
He's got a big presence. He's like Anton LaVey. He walks into the room and everyone's like,
Yeah, they have.
because part of it is, oh, did I know you? You know, it's like that every time he comes into a room. It doesn't matter if he's saying words or nothing at all.
Yeah, no,
He
he's
just has that like charismatic presence, and that's the kind of thing that makes a great story. Like that's what keeps
Right.
people interested. It's charisma. It's like magic. It's like something that's
attraction.
intangible
Yeah.
completely.
We'll see.
I
That's,
wouldn't know anything about it personally, but it's pretty great.
no, it's
Yeah.
well. Okay, so what was that most recent recording that you had that you showed? That you sent me. It was from the New Year's party, I think.
Yeah, of Nate singing.
Nate singing.
Singing that Green Day song.
Yeah. Oh, that was it. Brain Stew by
Yeah.
Nate. That one, oh, I still need. Speaking of making random video or catching up on all these projects that we talked about, I got to get to editing that. It's been a while.
Oh,
Do we have video of that song?
yeah,
Maybe.
Joe's GoPro was hopping around the whole time.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, yeah, because that was fun.
Oh, dude, that was a good party.
That was
So I got the GoPro, and then I had everybody who Snapchatted. I had them all send me videos of it. So I have a lot of video of the party.
Oh, cool! I
Yeah.
never even thought about that. So that you getting a whole bunch of like secondary unit directors sending you all their
No,
footage.
it's guerrilla filmmaking at its finest.
Man, how many
Guerrilla
cinematographers did you have during that production?
So I also get to claim something else. I think I had 10 cinematographers. 8 out of 10 were females.
Oh,
Wow.
wow, that is
Yeah.
very progressive.
Yeah, I'm very progressive.
Progressive level A.
It just so turns out that guys don't Snapchat as much as girls do. So
Man,
yeah,
well, I
it's-
think I'm gonna start calling you Affirmative Action Joe. 'Cause
Yes.
that's really something.
moving forward over here. I'm pushing the
I'm really
boundaries.
impressed, Joe.
Yes, fucking moving into the future here.
Employing Our
Mass
Yes.
that.
Yeah. Egalitarian as fuck, Doug. Well done.
yeah, that's great.
I'll take one of them
Yeah,
right there.
cheers,
Yeah. All right.
Okay.
Rob. Oh.
Hold on.
Wow.
No.
Okay.
Yeah. Rob's got to get out of here at some point
That's
tonight.
so
So But no, that was actually it's one of the better simple ways I found to film these parties. It's the same shit I used to do back when I had that big expensive camera, and I'd literally find the drunkest person there and just huck it at
I
him.
was telling Danielle about that. We're like, man, someone should like take pictures, or we should have a photo booth or something. Like, man, back in the day, Joe would just have, and that was like a cool camera because it was like kind of like a football. It was like a big chunk,
Yeah.
and you could just like toss it around, and it was super like durable, and everyone was just.
They used to freak out because, well, you get the one or two people that would like catch it and it was like a baby and they're like, oh, and they'd set it down somewhere really gently. And I'm like, didn't you notice we were throwing this around 5 minutes ago? Like, yes, it's expensive, but I also don't give a fuck because I got it for free. So have fun, take pictures. But
That's entitlement.
yeah, well, I was aware of it though.
Oh.
That's the big difference. I was very aware that at least was what I was doing. Think that makes it better?
I guess. Yeah, maybe.
Maybe not.
I mean, having a context for your actions, at
Yeah.
least.
I think it was worth it.
Understand.
It's kind of like for the best shots, sometimes you have to sacrifice a little bit. Like, and here's the thing too, is I'm a huge fan of equipment that you can put through the beating and it still holds up.
Yeah.
Like, that shit is worth it. Like, when we do the rodeo, we got these little cameras. They're little JVCs, about the size of that one over there. And they're like this long, and they're one-piece cameras. We'll put the little shoulder rig on it, and that's the wireless camera you see us running around with. That thing's been hit by bulls, been like tackled, hit by footballs, baseballs. Like, these cameras kick ass.
Yeah.
Because we put them through the ringer, and they still keep putting out a picture. One of them doesn't have a lens or a viewfinder on it anymore because it got, like, I think what was it? Got hit by a football, and it came off. Yeah.
A
rest in peace.
football.
A football, yeah. We do a lot of football, but
When you serve in the line like that, you see some
I can't say it's quite that impressive, but
those
it's
cameras though. I mean,
it's fun
remember-
work.
See, I do the opposite. I buy disposable equipment that I can destroy and not feel bad about.
You feel bad about it.
No, because I am so abusive to my materials. Just like smashing little brushes into pages to get that perfect spatter.
Mm-hmm.
and just I don't know. I like not having to worry about it because this shit can be really expensive. And
Right.
I don't need no boar hair oil brush. You know.
No, who the fuck cares about all that? Well,
Well, people, fucking some professional artists do.
I suppose.
Some
you know.
state award winners and stuff like that. They,
Just you know, you're right. You know it better than I do. So.
well, I mean, people who like sell their paintings for tens of thousands might give a shit about that.
Mm-hmm. We got a shit talker on here.
What's up?
Is it Tim?
No, it's Melissa. She's the new shit talker.
Who's Melissa?
Melissa, she was at my birthday party. She used to work with me over at that wonderful company D3. I can't remember. I can't recall who I have on my friends list. But no, yeah, so yeah, she's talking shit like crazy.
What kind of shit you know?
She says, "Get a different shirt.
Get a different shirt.
Your shirt is lame. Are you important? I'm so confused. What is happening? Why are you on here?"
Why are you on here?
Your shirt is shit?
I assume she's talking about my shirt.
Oh no.
Well, I can change my shirt if it's my shirt. That's the problem.
I didn't bring another shirt, so you're stuck with this one. I'm sorry. It's got a bunch of,
you just brought one
weird
Joe's
shit on
shirt.
it
Here,
that's
why don't we all just wear that shirt?
We could all wear white shirts.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe that's it.
If our shirts are not good, we can just wear your shirt.
You should wear a white shirt because you're part of the show.
Oh, okay,
Is
yeah.
that our? I don't want to wear white shirts every
That's kind
fucking
of a lame
week.
motif, but
Yeah.
oh, what does Melissa think?
Yeah, we gotta find. Yeah,
what kind of shirt
what's she,
did they
what's
choose?
she
She's our
say?
new executive fashion.
We'll put her in charge of wardrobe,
Yeah, you
or
just got
yeah.
hired, Melissa.
You got a job, hey.
Yeah,
And they'll teach you to mouth up.
The pay is negotiable.
It is.
Yeah, well, throw me a number. We'll see how much you can pay me, and we'll work from there.
Very well.
But yeah, no, it's Let's see what do we.
What's happening?
I was trying to make sure. Yeah, I was just checking on it, But nonetheless, it's fuck. I'm doing too many things at once. I lost my train of thought here.
Yeah, you're
Guys.
directing
I mean, you are-
and like responding to comments or PR.
Honestly, we really do need to be like maybe we can get a switcher or something like that. We need to maybe expand it out.
Is
a
it
little bit.
yeah? Is it that
Branch
time
out.
to step up the production quality of the show a little
Well,
bit?
to have someone
'Cause you do
switching,
so
like, because it's
much.
taking your attention away from, like, you're not 100% on the show.
Right?
You
Yeah.
gotta
You're
drink,
switching.
talk, like switch.
Dude, all these
Comment,
things. Read comments.
Read shit talking.
Sheet talkers over here.
Nothing else on there.
All right. Yeah. Nobody's doing anything.
Apparently.
Nobody's gonna love the product, like no matter, that's what it is, no matter what you
How great it
produce,
is.
even if it's George Lucas with the Star Wars franchise, people are gonna talk shit.
You see,
Yeah, that was prodding right
You
there.
went there, JoJo.
I did.
you know the thing about George Lucas though, the reason why the original trilogy was so great was because he surrounded himself with people at that time who like called him out. They were like, "Hey, this is the way it should be," and that's the reason why, like Alec Guinness, the guy who played Obi-Wan, there was a lot of things that he was like, "Hey, we should do it this way, and we should do my character this way." That's the reason why the original trilogy was good. So we need to surround ourselves with people who will actually whip us into shape.
I think that's great. That's
Surround-
fantastic.
So you're saying,
J.J. Abrams, if you're watching this right now, you should just come on board, man.
well, I think
What do you
Willie.
wait-
Come on down.
What are you waiting for? Like,
The problem though is you're saying we should surround ourselves essentially by shit talkers.
no, not shit talk. Constructive shit talkers.
Then it's not shit talking. Then it's constructive criticism.
Yes.
Yeah, we don't have any of those. We don't. Our friends don't
Lucas
do
didn't
that.
have any shit talkers around him. He could have used some, but
I don't know, man. Maybe having some hecklers and shit talkers around is just what we need.
Yeah,
Because then
well, that's all we got. Like we're gonna play with the
it
hand
gives
we
us
got.
a chance to like rationally analyze what they're saying and go, are they right? Or are they not right?
Right.
Are they pointing out something that could help us improve our show? Or are they being shit lords? and we're the judge. of
It's
that.
actually pretty fun because you get to be a judge. You get
Well,
to decide. Is
yeah,
this,
everybody
is
else
this
is
fair?
the judge. Yeah.
Is this fair?
Everybody else is the judge. It's
Yeah.
true. It's great. I love the term being your own boss because you never are your own boss. Are you the one giving yourself money? No, it's your clients.
So
or
yeah,
whoever's giving you the money.
you're not your own boss.
They're
You
your
have
boss.
many clients. Yeah.
Yeah.
Or you have many bosses.
Instead of having 2 bosses, now you got like 300 or whatever.
Right.
It's beautiful. It's kind of like one of those things that you can't escape, having a boss in this like the world that we live in.
I mean, so
The West.
doesn't it kind of just make you understand though that even the bosses and like your typical corporate
bosses are the
structure,
bosses.
they've got bosses.
Yes, they
everybody's
do.
got bosses.
Everybody's got a boss. That's why all bosses. No, not all bosses. I don't mean to generalize, but if your boss is being shitty to you,
Come on,
the
Rob.
chances are your boss's bosses are being shitty to them.
Yeah.
You got to be more
It's a
progressive,
cycle.
dude. Don't generalize. Don't.
I know.
yeah.
I stopped myself. Did you hear that, Joe?
I did.
I was like going down that road, and I was like, I
Can't do this.
I took the high road, baby. That's how I roll.
Yep. All right, guys. Well, with this, it's been great.
All right, I want to say one more.
All right,
thing.
yeah,
I
what
wanna-
you got?
I wanna
What
go
you got?
One more
Yeah,
tangent,
one more
'cause
tangent.
Last show, I heard you talk about like, you name dropped me a couple of times.
Oh,
Okay.
did I?
And I was like,
who did I name drop?
Oh shit! Because you said Rob like knows when things are finished, and you thought that was like some amazing feat or something. That
Oh
was what you
yeah,
said.
yeah, I do recall that. Yeah, we were
Okay,
talking
so-
about when you create some art. Yeah.
So, and this is pretty simple.
Okay.
But I think like knowing when you're finished with a project or whatever you're doing is like something you have to learn. You have to learn the limits of your skills.
Yeah.
To be able to tell like I wouldn't be able to improve on this, or if I did, it would be like a stroke of luck or something. So it's basically a
see.
gamble. You're
Yeah.
gambling on. If I attempt to improve this, will I fuck it up and ruin what I currently have?
Right.
Right. So
Yeah, no, I agree with that.
like recognizing that stage in
Yeah.
development of whatever you're working on is key to being like, I'm done.
Just know
As
when
long
to
as
back
it's
the fuck
functional,
off
you
and
know?
not touch
you
it
got all
anymore.
the
Yeah.
parts in place and,
Yeah.
and it looks passable. You know, like what can you do? Can you basically weigh those odds?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, no, that's something I definitely picked up like later on in like my musicianship career. Because I mean, like I've been in a lot of bands, and there have been a lot of songs where we've spent like 2 months being like, all right, we're just putting the finishing touches on it, and then you rehearse it again, and in doing so, you're like, oh, maybe we should switch around this chord. No, like it gets to a point where you definitely like. I guess what we would do is we'd just be like, it's show ready, but in the next several months, like while it's show ready, it might like there might be multiple versions that are presentable, but you're constantly tweaking.
When
But it's kind of bad that it is kind of bad to do that though, because I mean, you can't just constantly be tweaking something.
Yeah.
You got to put the ribbon on it eventually.
And the risk with that is that you'll get farther and farther away from your original vision. And sometimes I'm going to use a direct like artist situation
No, yeah.
because that is what is most relatable to me.
Right. No, yeah. Shoot
When
what you
I
got.
do like a pencil sketch or something like that, and the lines are perfect, the gesture and the motion is beautiful, and it's like and then you start putting the pens down,
Yeah.
you try to emulate that, but if you start screwing around with the form or like something's not quite right, and you start messing with it, it's no longer perfect. It no longer
Right.
has the immediacy of what you first drew, and so you have to like again weigh your options. Like, is it worth me fucking this up in order to like can I improve it? Can I make it better from here? Or I don't know. It's just one of those things. You gotta know.
Yeah, it's
right.
literally when to just stop fucking with it and when to try and
when to move on.
right.
And it takes a certain amount of like familiarity with your own skills and abilities, and also like it's like willpower too to be like.
That's the tricky one though. I would assume is having the self control at a certain point to go. You know what? This is what I can do. This is what I can't. Because I know. Trying to think if I can apply that. There's obviously been points when I'm editing, or even that's a tricky one because editing to me is such a like video at least. It's such a weird thing. Like you can always go quickly learn a new skill. Even with fabrication, like you can generally that's actually a pretty clear cut one. Like I know what I can and can't do in that realm. And so
That's more of an objective thing, right?
yeah, it's because usually I'm not creating something from scratch that's
Well, but
a art
you're
form.
working
It's
on something that if it's not put together a certain way, it won't work at all.
Right.
There's not like a certain flair you can put on it that'll make it work just a little bit better. You know.
Right, yeah.
I mean, maybe if you're doing fine tuning with engines or something, but if you're building, I don't know, a frame. Then if these two joints don't go together at perfectly 90 degrees, going
it won't work. Yeah, if
one
it's
way
so
or the other isn't going to improve it at all.
yeah, that's kind of the weird. It's a mathematical sense in a lot of what I do. It's right or wrong.
Yeah,
and that's,
exactly. But I mean, you do like editing is definitely a subjective thing. Like, how's the flow?
Yeah.
Of course, there is definitely a a mathematic rhythm to how videography works, but and editing. But I don't know. It's just one of those things. But like, you get back to can I make this better? Can I get it close to the
Right.
integral rhythm that I'm going for?
Well, kind of know, and then there's maybe even knowing your own style too.
Yeah,
to a certain degree,
for
because that would be maybe the one for me when it comes to editing. As I weigh like the deadline, then I go, you know what, this is what I like. I'm happy with what I've created. One of those would be the bachelor party video that I did for Nate. It's not the greatest by any means, you know, and that was one of the first one that I really experimented with voiceovers on, my own voice, which was at like 2 a.m. So I'm like, my voice is all choked up. I'm just like, I want to go to bed. But that was where I wait. I'm like, okay, this is my deadline. Also, this is what I've created. And I'm like, you know what? If I keep fucking with it, I'm just gonna start going downhill.
Yeah.
With the product, you know, I'll screw it up. It's going to go one way or another. So I just kind of called it caps and wrapped it. And that sounds a lot like what you're doing now.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of the same thing. And also a really important thing, I know you'll relate to this, Willie, is having the wherewithal to like step away and totally disengage yourself from your project for like overnight or a couple hours. Come back with a fresh perspective and go like, how does this look? You know, just like get back and step back and take in the whole picture, because that's how everyone else is going to be seeing it. They're going to come at it totally unfamiliar, never having seen anything about it before, and they're going to see like objectively what's there.
Yeah.
And what you want to do as a creator of something, making something like that, is to try and like emulate that experience. And if you're able to do that, then you're going to have a much better rate of success at creating something that resonates with people.
That does. Yeah.
Some of my creative endeavors, I definitely took that to heart. And when I was in college doing my school papers, whenever I would edit them, it's like, it's hard to edit stuff.
No, I'm laughing because for me, my school papers were an entire different stance. But
we all, like, most of the time we're up against the gun, you know. Most of the time we're submitting shit. We're editing it. We're finishing it, like, 20 minutes before it's due, and then editing it maybe. But like, no, if you really can finish it the night before it's due, and then the next morning before you turn it in, like, edit the damn thing with a clear mind. You're for sure gonna do the best in spotting your mistakes, because it's hard. It's hard to like really look at it from a different perspective.
Bukowski, right? Who said, I don't know if it's actually Bukowski, but he said, write drunk, edit sober, right? And so the idea is just let the ideas flow. And then when you have a clear mind come back, all the artistic is out at this point. And now you can sit down and really try to fine tune from a clear-minded perspective what you're trying to say.
That's beautiful.
That is beautiful.
That works on so many levels, because when you're drunk, like specifically that example, like I love having a glass of wine and writing, because it's just like you're just like raw emotion and like instinct. It's just, and you just pour it out as fast as you can.
Yeah.
You're just like, and you have, I don't know, I'll write like a scene or something.
Fuck it if you're misspelling shit, any of that.
Fuck
just
all that.
Yeah.
Because you can obviously go back and change that later, but the idea, the picture you have in your mind, that's temporary.
Yeah.
You know, that's going to go away. That's not going to be there in the morning.
Right, yeah.
Iteration. So, and then you come back later when you're sober and you like you can tune it and fix up all the little details. That's fucking genius. That's brilliant. I love that.
Yeah.
Man.
Well, I'm sure we've always kind of done something like half the time when I'm working on like an editing project, it's maybe not even so much a drunk thing, because it's not like edit drunk, edit sober, but it's like what happens is there's a certain point where I get into a mode where I've been just thinking about it for days, and I'm like, I have all this footage that I've been sitting on, or there's an idea or whatever it is, and I want to put it together into something that I can show and create and like spill out to the world. And what I do is just go on a mad tangent where I put a bunch of pieces in place, and once all the videos just roughed out on the timeline, for example, then I can come back and another day, it's usually a week later or something, come back and actually tighten it up, put the fades in, line up the cuts with the music, all that kind of stuff. So
that's great. So you get the broad strokes out of the way first, and then come back in and make sure everything got a little bow on it.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah. No, that's such a beautiful like analogy. Is it a metaphor or an analogy?
I don't. It's.
I don't remember.
Well, it's cool.
I sound like a dumbass. I'm on the radio. I'm on the internet.
All I know is
we gotta sound interested in everything right now. Yeah.
Simile and metaphor. Simile, like
simile
like,
is
if
like
terms,
something.
Yeah, like
a lot.
Metaphor. You're just like, yeah, sure, it's a butterfly.
Yeah, okay.
Spreading its wings.
I guess it's a metaphor.
I don't know what the fuck
didn't say
it is.
simile. I said allegory.
It's a quote.
It's
a quote, is what it. Yeah. Like, that's all I know. It's one of the cool things you see on the internet. Just quotes. I'm like, hey, I like that quote. You know, like
it's a great.
You always keep track of those. You know,
it translates so perfectly to what the writer
more intensely. Yeah, well, especially when it comes to the
or not.
Right. Yeah, whether or not anybody knows who he is, but
somebody knows.
You know, a lot of people know. I think.
They're not us though.
Yeah, no. But the idea is, especially when it comes to art, like you're doing, you know, it's just splatter the ideas out.
Yeah. Shit them out your brain
Shit them out. Well,
right away.
so with the same intent on a larger scale, that's kind of what we're doing here. Like I figure, and I've seen this lots of times, is that you can record 1,000,001, or you can have 1,000,001 ideas. Like when you used to record all the parties, a lot of shit happens. And the first thing I learned, actually, it was years and years ago. I learned this when we were doing BMX videos. I was a little hoodlum kid. And we'd have the camera, and my friends used to always like press record and then the trick and then stop. And I got into this habit where I'd just take 10 tapes with me for the day, 10 1-hour long tapes. And I'd load a tape in, press record, and never turn it off.
Yeah.
And then I'd check
you can always cut it off later.
Yeah.
Buy more tapes.
Exactly. Buy more tapes, whatever, cut through it. But
because if you don't do that, then you're risking missing out on the opportunity of getting the thing that happens.
Right.
You know?
And so many people miss that.
I'm terrified of missing that shit. That's why I do record stuff. Or like if I hadn't had my phone like ready to go when Nate started singing Brain Fart or whatever the song is called.
Right.
Like that moment would not have been immortalized.
And it was
moment.
gorgeous. What it was.
Go down in history.
Yeah.
It's the best Green Day cover ever. I think my favorite thing about it is that there's Nate singing, but then like you guys did really solid instrumentals, so it sounds like a real band.
Yeah, it was pretty good.
It's a good dichotomy.
Yeah. It's.
I feel like they're gonna bleed.
We're gonna have to have Nate come on and
so great.
do the commentary.
You should close the show with a song.
You know what? That might be the theme for this whole disastrous mess that we're in here.
That we sing at the end of every episode.
Well, I was gonna have Nathan's version of Brains 2 would be the closer.
Be your theme song.
Yeah, that'd be the theme song.
Yeah, your bumper.
The bumper.
Do you want that?
I believe I already have it. So here's the thing.
I mean, do you want that to be a theme song for your show?
Well, for now, we don't have a theme song, so
that's a good point.
Might as well.
why not? Yeah.
Yeah.
But all right, guys, it's been great.
It has been great.
Thank you for coming on.
Hey, thanks for having me. I had a great time.
This is good.
Let's do this again sometime.
Let's do this again. All right.